Winger. Frankie Cartoscelli is our Kings insider for Sactown Sports. You can hear him, read him, and do so much on the website, on the Twitter, and so much
love
more.
on him.
Yeah, give him some love. Give him a follow. He's just a nice young man.
Isn't he?
He joins us right now. Hello, Frankie.
Guys, come on. It's Monday morning, please. It's, I can only blush so much at the beginning of the week. Thank you so much for having me.
It's Monday. It's too early. I thought you were going to bust out like it's too early for lies and condescension. We were like, no, we're being legit, Frankie. Felt good on Saturday, baby. Didn't it? I mean, getting a win, getting a buzzer beater on the road.
It didn't seem like it was going that way, though, at the beginning there. It was a pretty horrible start. It was a muggy day on Saturday. It wasn't raining either, which kind of makes it even worse. So it's just kind of an ugly day. Ugly first half. The Kings were pretty overmatched by a lengthy Orlando Magic team, but turned it on late. And, again, you see that last play, just the pass from Malik Monk, which turned out to be a missed foul call. Thank you, 2-Minute Report, for another W there. But when that pass got away from him there and went right off of Trey Lyles' hands, it seemed like, here we go again, double overtime, let's run it back. But we get to enjoy one of the more enjoyable Kings buzzer beaters in recent memory. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys have talked about this morning, but is that at or near the Tyreek Evans buzzer beater, or is that just kind of a tier below?
Ooh, we haven't actually did a comparison.
I'm going to say below because it was at home. It was 3/4 court, Dante Green, the guy walking out on the court from Memphis before, as it was the fact that Conley hit that shot, that was the dagger, and the Kings, I believe, were down, weren't they? They were down too. They were down when he hit the shot. So
that was like a walk. It was a walk-off. It was a 3-point. I mean, it has to be up there for sure. But I think that Saturday was a special one, especially because we've seen DeAaron Fox. He's come up clutch a couple of times. The Miami putback dunk. He has a couple other the 76ers game his rookie season. He's had some moments, but this was, I think, his first walk-off, if I'm not mistaken. So it was a special one.
Yeah, it really was. And DeAaron's having a special stretch of his career. Frankie Cartoscelli, Sacramento Kings beat writer for Sactown Sports, joining us this morning. And of course, Frankie coming to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Frankie, let's stay with DeAaron here because we've had a lot of conversation about him this morning. And he is playing one of the best stretches, I think the best stretch of his career. How much of that do you factor into DeAaron just taking a step up versus also the pieces they've put around him really letting him unlock his game?
Yeah, it's kind of gone back to last year, the final 15 games of last season. I think he averaged near 30 points per game. The shooting has improved. I think it comes down to him taking a step forward with his shooting. I mean, that's been his biggest kind of Achilles heel has been he is not a point guard that can knock down the mid-range, deep mid-range to three-point shot. And he has said this season he feels very confident in his mid-range. He thinks he's near automatic from mid-range, and I think that the stats so far this season have proven that. His three-point shot, shooting 37% from three, that's going to help you a lot. And the fact that he's taken 5.5 attempts per game, that's something that he hasn't done yet in his career. I mean, he's taken a step forward shooting the basketball, and he said it himself, and it's true. You can't be a point guard in today's NBA and not be able to shoot the basketball. I mean, it just can't happen. The NBA is so reliant on the three-point field goal, and that's something that the Kings are reliant on themselves as a team. So I think he just looks comfortable, and he just is coming into his own, like you said. He has that confidence. It just seems like he can kind of get points and get buckets whenever he wants. And he's lethal at the rim. He's, as we know, a top 10 guy who can get to the line and get free throw attempts up. And, of course, the free throw shooting has been a concern as well. Well, he's shooting 87% from the line, and I believe he's made 21 consecutive free throw attempts since missing some free throws against the Clippers about 2 weeks ago. So when you lump in the fact that his shots are falling both from beyond the arc and at the free throw line, that's kind of been what's held him back from being at this kind of elite level.
Frankie Cartoscelli joining us. I'm sorry, I didn't hear anything any of you guys said because I'm all right. So you got Kmart in the playoffs versus San Antonio. God. Sorry.
Why did you bring this up?
You
Frankie?
got Tyreek versus Memphis, and this is in no particular order. I'm just saying these are ones that I think are better than the Fox one. Okay, Tyreek, Bogey versus the Lakers at home. I'm going to put that ahead of Fox in Orlando. Disagree?
That's fair.
Okay,
That's fair.
All right. The Mike Bibby, wasn't it the Clippers? Mike Bibby, or was it Memphis, or both? He had the two buzzer beaters in a row.
Both.
Is it fair to lump those? No, you can't lump those in together, I guess, but those are kind of remembered together.
Yeah.
That kind of makes it better, I think.
Okay, so let's lump those. Here's the category I think we're looking at, all right? Bonzi against Minnesota, but that's old school. Nobody remembers that. I think we're looking in modern terms. I would say I do believe Fox better than Barnes against Cleveland during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one that's really tough, Fox in Orlando Saturday buzzer beater versus Buddy Detroit buzzer beater.
I still think Fox is better.
Ooh.
Well,
yeah.
Go
ahead,
freaking
Frankie.
Pulled up from the logo.
No. Go ahead, Frankie. What were you going to say?
No, that's a good point. I mean, I don't think we've ever seen. I mean, all those buzzer beaters are unique. I mean, I think the Harrison Barnes buzzer beater from 2020 would have been a little better if there was a full.
Yes.
If Golden Ones aren't fans, there was nobody in the building. That was the weird thing to see. Dead quiet when that happened. But yeah, it was just kind of jarring to see a Kings player full stop pull up from the logo and just drill a 30-footer. I mean, I just haven't seen that yet. So that maybe puts it a step above. I'm not sure. I mean, the other ones you named, the Bonzi buzzer beater, the Buddy, that one, I don't know. Just the fact that he dropped the ball and it just looked like he wasn't going to get a shot made it kind of interesting. But I don't know. I think this is up there. I think the Fox has to be above those.
Oh, Weber, Milwaukee in 2004. I completely forgot about that.
That was a good one.
Frankie Cartoscelli joining us. Yeah, I think the conversation is going to be Fox versus Buddy. And I think Fox will win mainly because we like him more. That's just a fact.
I can't argue that.
Frankie,
maybe a little bit.
Broken record Dave here, but as great as everything was in Orlando, DeMontis and his horrible free throw shooting, even Kevin Huerter was 0-2. The fact that they kind of collapsed in the fourth quarter, we're going to take away the win, but there's a lot to take away from this thing that's bad. I'm going to keep saying this team to me is not sustainable if they don't get help for DeMontis Sabonis down low. This was a lineup of 3 6'10" guys, a 7'2" guy, and a 6'5" guy. Granted, that's an outlier. Do you agree or disagree that the Sabonis defensive inside anchor issue is not going to go away?
Yeah, I would say it's pretty probable that it will not go away. I mean, he's never really been a rim protector, and the Kings obviously didn't make the deal for that aspect. They brought him over to be a guy who can be a threat around the rim and be a distributor, and of course he's one of the better rebounders in the league. And the Kings were not a great rebounding team last year. They haven't been a great rebounding team for a while. So yeah, it's a concern, and especially when you kind of lump in the fact that you're starting power forward. I mean, you can make an argument it's Keegan Murray or Harrison Barnes, but I think it's Harrison Barnes right now, and he's somebody that needs some help as well. The Kings just need length, period. And again, they played an Orlando Magic team that you don't see that very often. They have 4 guys in their lineup that are basically 7 feet tall. That just doesn't really happen. But I mean, there could be a situation down the stretch of the season where the Kings have to deal with a couple teams that have some serious length, and they don't know how to defend them. And if God forbid that was a game that was in March and the Kings are a game out of a play-in spot and they struggle with a Orlando Magic team who's supposed to be bad this year, mind you, and the Kings have to lose a game that matters a lot for that very, very reason. And again, I'm not going to say that the game on Saturday doesn't matter because it doesn't matter as much because we're here in November, but these are games that you need to have. And it comes down to the Kings not being able to get consecutive stops on the defensive end. They just couldn't do it. They really couldn't. You let Paolo Banchero and Bol put up career nights. You have no one down low to protect the rim. So I think it's something they're going to have to address. And in my mind, it should be sooner than later. I think you can kind of get an idea here pretty soon over the next couple of weeks of what this team needs to improve on. And the glaring issue right now is rim protection. So the Kings probably should look to address that sooner than later, in my opinion.
Frankie, we got about a minute left. Last thing for you. Are the Kings coming out of Golden State tonight 4-5?
I hope so. I'll say this. I was looking up some splits this morning. I saw some interesting facts here. In a head-to-head matchup, DeAaron Fox and Steph Curry. Steph Curry is 7-0 against the Kings when DeAaron Fox is active. That's honestly something I did not know. Or when they're both active, at the same time.
So they're
both active at the same time. They're due. The Fox Kings are due. So we're going to see tonight. But I'm hopeful. I'll say I'm hopeful.
You know what else?